We live in a society dominated by wasteful consumerism. This system is not only impractical, but unsustainable for our planet. From the clothes we wear, to the food we consume, to the way we work, we require an excess of material goods. And after we purchase these goods, we often use them once or twice before we proceed to throw them away or place them somewhere in our home to never be used again. Welcome Bridge, the mobile application to reinvent the consumer economy. Bridge is a peer-to-peer lending platform that introduces the sharing economy for all consumer goods, allowing users to lend and rent anything. The marketplace includes sports equipment, clothing, audio-video equipment, appliances, and so much more.
Bridge is a community-based platform that centers around trust. We require a student email address in order to sign up for the platform, so you know the person on the other side of the transaction is real and lives within your community. Bridge is convenient. The efficiency of the platform means you can go from renting a product to using it in minutes. No more reliance on inefficient shipping services or unnecessary trips to the store. Order your product and pick it up in minutes. Bridge leverages blockchain technology to provide the most secure means of payment in the industry. Not only does this ensure financial security for all parties, but removes any reliance on a middleman payment service, meaning you save money on unnecessary fees and can rest easy knowing that your payment information is safely protected. Bridge, the modern solution to the wasteful consumer economy.
As of August 2021, over 55% of individuals have said they're currently looking for a new job in the workforce over the next 12 months. To us, this is a testament that many people within the middle of their careers are looking for proper resources and guidance in order to transition to different industries or look to advance in leadership positions in adjacent industries.
Finding your first job can be an extremely stressful process. But finding a new job after you've already been working in the same industry for many years can be an even more daunting process, with less resources available and a lack of mentorship in order to be able to shift these industries effectively.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Cambio, where change is the only constant. Our names are Nyla, Parita, Melody, and Noor, and we're excited to show you how we plan on revolutionizing workplace shifts in the future.
Here at Cambio, we aim to provide one-on-one mentorship and job training for individuals that are looking to change industries in the middle of their careers.
The main target of our platform are workers whose jobs could be easily displaced by automation, because we realize how challenging that is in the current era especially.
As Harvard undergraduates, the four of us have been extremely involved in organizations that pertain to education, mentorship, and teaching, and thus we only thought it natural to convey some of these sentiments towards our venture.
Our customers are primarily mid-career workers in non-technical fields who have a high risk of being displaced by automation, because these people have already had experience in one specific field and might find it really challenging to transition and start the interviewing process all over again for another field. Whether these workers are in high or low skilled positions, we aim to provide them with the skills necessary to transition to jobs that are not as easily displaced.
In the first phase of our business model, we aim to focus primarily on providing dynamic content through mentorship and job training through partnerships with companies such as Chegg, Indeed, and Handshake in order to build up a strong base and network of mentors and mentees.
Once we've successfully proven our mentorship model, we aim to shift to phase 2 of our business model that includes 3 key offerings. Firstly, we aim to offer more static content. These are things like trainings and blogs, programming that will allow more people to come to Cambio as a source for information, regardless of whether or not they want direct mentorship. Although our target market initially is going to be very small for phase 1, we want to be able to serve all workplace shifts in the future, regardless of if you're in a technical field or a business development role. And then lastly, we want to help train the people who have had a lasting experience with Cambio, who have excelled in our programming, and actually hire them ourselves as consultants, and then lease them out to other companies that have different workplace needs. If what we said was interesting or inspiring to you, we encourage you to reach out to our team. We'd be happy to talk to anyone interested in joining us in this mission to revolutionize workplace shifts.
Have you ever had a ton of unsold food that you didn't know what to do with, so it just went to waste?
Has the healthier option always been too expensive, forcing you to opt for that McDonald's hamburger?
If you said yes, then you're not alone. According to the FDA, in 2010, the United States had 30 to 40% of its food supply end up as food waste. This represents 133 billion pounds of wasted food, or $161 billion in wasted food. Food waste is the largest category of material in municipal landfills and represents nourishment that could have helped feed families in need. According to the USDA, 19 million people in America live in food deserts and do not have regular access to supermarkets, also limiting their access to healthy food.
I'm Kara.
I'm Leah.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Jonathan, and together, we're building Distro to help solve both of these problems. We're a team of Harvard students passionate about finding solutions to the world's biggest problems.
In our day-to-day lives, we watch as countless food products and meals go to waste in our dining halls.
In the past, we've worked on civic technology projects and built tech for social good, and we want to combine our skills and apply those to critical community problems.
Distro is a platform that connects underserved communities with healthy, cheap, and accessible food options from establishments with leftover food that would otherwise go to waste.
Here's how it works. Step 1, a supermarket or a restaurant decides that they have excess food that they don't need. Step 2, Distro comes in and buys that excess food from the supermarket or from the restaurant at an extremely discounted price, sometimes even for free. Step 3, families and communities in need can go onto the Distro website and reserve food that we have purchased at an extremely cheap price. Step 4, families can either go directly to the supermarket or to the restaurant to pick up the food that they reserved on Distro, or they can go to our local Distro shops that we've set up for easy community-based pickup. We plan on working with community leaders to help food deserts and other areas of need, and partner with local communities to provide healthy food options to families, areas, and people in need.
If you're looking for a clean, healthy, and environmentally friendly way to handle your food waste, come Distro your bistro!
Welcome to Distro.
Hi, I'm Ethan.
Hi, I'm Zaid.
And we are Pandora Health.
We provide an electronic medical record system to doctors' offices in developing markets with poor medical infrastructure.
In developing countries all around the world, there's a widespread lack of resources and poverty that makes access to high-quality healthcare very difficult. And as a result, in places like Bangladesh and other South Asian countries, it's very hard to obtain high-quality healthcare. For example, in countries like Bangladesh, the ratio of physicians to patients is 0.5 to 1,000, and 80% of the population lives in poverty-stricken areas in mostly rural places with low literacy rates. And as a result, it's very difficult to administer and find high-quality healthcare.
Let's take the situation of a patient, we'll call her Tanaya, visiting a doctor in Bangladesh. Lucky for Tanaya, this doctor is able to diagnose Tanaya with a rare liver condition early on where a lot of work is able to be done. This doctor gives Tanaya all of the necessary information that she will need in order to accurately and reliably treat this condition going forward. Tanaya goes home with this necessary information and stores it in a place that she thinks is safe. Unfortunately for Tanaya, Bangladesh is known for its monsoons and heavy rains. With increased climate change, these storms are becoming worse and worse, and their risk to paper medical records increases as time goes on. One night, these storms are so bad that they break into Tanaya's house and destroy medical records. When Tanaya's condition starts to flare up, she goes back to the doctor in order to treat her disease. Unfortunately, the doctor and the patient are not able to communicate because they do not have the same information necessary to treat her disease. This is where our product, Pandora Health, comes in. We will allow patients to instantaneously access their data from any location at any time. This unprecedented access will improve the quality and reliability of healthcare and ensure all patients receive the necessary care. Our product is dual-facing. Patients can view their information, diagnoses, prescriptions, and upcoming appointments, while the doctors can upload the necessary information and view the patient's history.
Pandora saves time for patients because they won't need to retrace their medical histories every time they go to the doctor. And it also saves time for doctors because they won't need to rely on patients to manage their data. Pandora also increases revenue for hospitals since more patients can be seen more quickly. Most importantly, Pandora improves healthcare outcomes for patients because patients will have access to high-quality, immediate medical information. This also represents savings for patients in the long run because healthier patients have lower healthcare costs. Let's make Pandora a reality and help patients.
During the pandemic, while I was working from home, my brother approached me and asked, "Oh, you have a job, and mom has a job, and dad has a job, but where's my job?" And that was the basis of why we started Paralink. We want to address that specific question. How can people with disabilities get access to better hiring opportunities?
Paralink is a next-generation job search platform designed specifically for people with disabilities. Oftentimes, disabled people face difficulties in their job searches. Difficulties physically traveling to their place of work, difficulties communicating during the interview process, and difficulties finding opportunities tailored to their strengths and weaknesses.
One of the primary UN Sustainable Development Goals is decent work and economic growth for all. However, in the United States, there's a big discrepancy in both job opportunities and wages for people with disabilities in the regular employment population.
Paralink is meant to be the LinkedIn for the community with disabilities. More specifically, however, we want to stay connected with our Paralinkers long after they find a job on our platform. This means that we want to make sure that the work that they're doing is safe, accessible, and truly adds value to the community that they're involved in. In addition, we want to make sure that we are providing long-term opportunities for our Paralinkers. This means that while they may find one short gig with us, we want to make sure that for the duration of the time that they want to be working, they have equal access to both opportunities and also the work itself.
One of the other problems is that a lot of businesses lack the diversification and skill sets, the technological innovation, as well as the skills training and inclusivity training to accommodate people with disabilities and their specific skill sets.
So where do we come in? We want to add value through 4 main points: advocacy, skill set management, training, and long-term employment opportunities.
Paralink will design a web platform and algorithms paired along with it that will help match disabled people to the perfect job opportunity for them.
There have been a lot of issues with transportation, for example, and making sure being able to actually get to their job on time. That's something else that Paralink wants to tackle. We want to be a full-form opportunity and platform for anyone with disabilities to find a safe space for them to feel empowered and excited to do work and add value to their greater community.
Paralink is the job search platform of the future. We want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to find gainful employment and feel supported every step of the way.
Who inspires you?
What inspires you?
What are you most creative?
People around the world are always searching for new ways to be creative, reimagining our cities, building cohesive communities, and changing our future. This is what creativity can achieve. But the biggest problem that faces creativity today is collaboration. Different groups of creatives may exist in one city and they don't even know each other. From architects to musicians to fashion designers, they may thrive within their fields, but they never channel their creativity beyond their expertise. Our solution? A physical space that brings all of these people together under one roof.
Imagine you walk into a space and on your left, architects are planning their next project. On your right, a local music group is putting together their next album in a state-of-the-art soundproof studio. And right in front of you, fashion designers and artists are preparing their next collection. This is the space we imagine. People working in the same space, exchanging ideas, prototyping their projects on the people around them. This is how we grow. This is how we innovate and push the boundaries of creativity.
To bring this project to life, we would partner with a local municipality who provide a physical space for Out of the Box to operate in. Companies specializing in artistic fields will sponsor Out of the Box by donating equipment or providing funding. In return, Out of the Box will give them access to a pool of top talent. Companies will benefit greatly from these partnerships, just as much as our creatives, who will gain valuable industry experience.
The generosity of the private donors, well-known creatives in their respective fields, will fund the initial startup costs and will help Out of the Box get off the ground. This funding will allow us to purchase essential pieces of equipment, such as cameras for a photography studio, computers for a graphic design suite, and supplies for our art workshop. Out of the Box will have 3 main revenue streams. First, we will hold ticketed events open to the public, such as music concerts and art exhibitions. Second, we will allow individuals and groups non-affiliated with Out of the Box to rent our spaces and use our facilities. Third, we will charge a commission on artist sales. To ensure that our space is as accessible as possible, we will only charge this commission once our artists reach a certain level of success.
Hi, I'm Josh, and I want to bring my experience working with local artisans to Out of the Box. I hope to grow with young creatives and encourage collaborative innovation.
I'm Lorenzo, and I'm passionate about using tech for social good.
I'm Catherine, and I'm interested in building a supportive community for Out of the Box's creatives.
I'm Adam, and I'm eager to help upcoming musicians advance their careers.
In the past 4 decades, a new temperature record has been set every 3 years. This statistic has profound implications for the spread of climate-sensitive infectious disease. For example, the World Health Organization reports that global temperature increases of 2 to 3 degrees Celsius would put several hundred million more people at risk of contracting malaria.
Climate change presents an existential problem to our global community because it threatens every part of our daily lives, including our healthcare systems, which are poorly adapted to respond to the impacts of climate change. In nations low on the Human Development Index, data related to infectious disease spread and healthcare system capacity is often not available. In fact, research published in the Elsevier Public Health Emergency Collection finds that there's a profound lack of health infrastructure and reliable, routinely collected data. Conversely, in high HDI countries, many hospitals and healthcare providers experience information overload, creating obstacles in interpreting data and properly responding to fluctuating demand.
Clearly, there's a gap in knowledge at the intersection of climate and health, and this is where ViroTrack comes in. We are Dianelis, Olivia, and Katie, and we are Harvard students with experience in molecular biology, computer science, and neuroscience. We believe that healthcare is a human right, and that it is important to develop robust healthcare infrastructures that best serve our local communities. Therefore, we strive to supply healthcare providers with timely, easily accessible information regarding climate-sensitive infectious disease patterns and local capacity in order to prevent structural overload.
How will we do this? By building a website with 2 key services. 1, a timely early warning system generated from predictive models that notifies healthcare providers through email or text of incoming surges in climate-related infectious disease spread. And 2, a live map that provides information about the patient intake capacity of nearby hospitals.
Under our freemium model, we're going to have a basic version available for free to the general public, and under our premium service, we're going to have advanced analytics and a notification system available for purchase. We primarily see 2 groups benefiting from this premium service. First, nations with a low HDI who lack access to reliable public health and climate data, and second, nations with a high HDI who do have access to reliable public health and climate data through some of our collaborators like Worldometer or AccuWeather. However, they fail to interpret this information through a climate lens, and then they struggle to implement actionable plans.
We at ViralTrack see both an urgent need and significant opportunity in approaching the field of infectious disease through the framework of climate change-informed needs. Our freemium model and approach to data collection, analysis, and dissemination has demonstrated reliability.
we aim to bring this market logic next to the vexing problems at the nexus of climate and infectious disease. We strive to serve global communities, and we hope to build better healthcare systems for all.
When you find a rip or a tear in your clothing, is your first instinct just to dispose of it? What if I told you that there was a much greener way that was still efficient and easy, requiring only the click of your finger? With Click, the newest addition to Nextdoor, the greener option is made easy, social, and fun. When you rip a piece of clothing, simply check Click for clothing repairers nearby. Click connects a like-minded community of individuals committed to fighting climate change and making the world a better, more sustainable place. The pickup process is made easy, as is every step along the way. All you really have to do is choose to engage, and from there, we do the rest. For a small, reduced charge, your shirt is fixed, and you can rest easy knowing that you made the smart, eco-friendly choice.
Whether it's a ripped shirt, flat tire, or plastic cup we're about to throw away, we're all confronted with moments in our daily lives where we can make the more environmentally conscious decision. Unfortunately, the most eco-friendly option is not always the one that's most accessible, convenient, or affordable. Click empowers us with the resources and the network to live that greener lifestyle. Click is a different kind of social network that connects people to their community through fostering a culture of sustainability. Similar to Facebook Marketplace, when you have that ripped shirt, you can connect with people in your area who can provide the goods and services you need at an affordable cost. From repairing your flat tire to installing solar panels, you gain points for all your sustainable actions and can see what your neighbors are up to. These points can be redeemed for free rewards from local businesses, such as a cup of coffee or a bike rental. Click rewards people for making sustainable choices, fosters community and conversations about sustainability, and encourages a relationship between local businesses and their communities. In return for these exclusive rewards, local businesses gain exposure to new clients. Businesses can also purchase advertisement slots that are integrated into the post feed, which is our primary source of revenue. We aim to sell Click to Nextdoor, a local scale social media platform, to integrate it within their existing network. Click aims to launch on college campuses of Harvard, MIT, and Boston College, with Nextdoor users who input their ages between 18 to 22 and the correct corresponding zip code that only enables them to use that in-app feature. After a year-long assessment, Click would expand to all college-age students in Massachusetts, and after 3 to 5 years, Click looks to take on college students in the wider Northeast.
Join Click today!
Meet Tom. Tom is looking for a job. As Tom starts to look for a job, he's being increasingly bombarded with hundreds of unique job applications through company sites and external job boards, leaving him unsure where to start. On the other side, we have General Foods, a local grocery store looking to hire new employees. However, with so many spots to fill and not enough applications, this creates a serious headache for them. To solve this problem, we created For Hire, an online platform that connects job seekers with employers through a common application system and relevant job and career skills training.
Following the COVID-19 pandemic, connecting job seekers with employers has become more important than ever. But the job market is broken and inefficient. There are currently over 2 million more job openings than workers. But despite this labor gap, many report having a difficult time finding jobs, especially low-income workers. Although employment levels have all but recovered for top and middle-income Americans, low-wage jobs are still down 22%, so it's time for a new employment solution.
At For Hire, we strive to make the job search process easier for everyone. Thanks to our centralized platform, you will not need to send similar applications over and over anymore. You can also learn from real employers through free online coaching on resume building, interview training, and much more. Last but not least, You can connect with other candidates using our unique chat function to share tips. For employers, our centralized application hub and built-in interview platform will make the candidate search process faster and more efficient. By uploading training videos, you can also find better fit candidates faster. For Hire will always be free for all candidates. Our stable revenue comes from the flat fee paid by employers as well as online advertisements.
Several companies already exist to make the job finding process easier, such as Indeed. But there are two main issues. Firstly, there is too large of a focus on white-collar jobs, and secondly, they lack a skill-building component. This results in low-income workers being left behind. Here's where we come in. For Hire helps low-income individuals by focusing on entry-level positions and partnering with community centers to ensure we reach our target audience. For Hire combines the job-finding platform of Indeed with the community-building component of LinkedIn and tailors it to low-income individuals. For Hire is completely free of charge for users, who will be able to utilize their new job-finding skills and For Hire community to improve their life opportunities.
For Hire, finding jobs for you.
Tonight, the UN warning of that first famine driven entirely by climate change.
You were warning that the number of people on the brink of starvation worldwide had risen to 270 million during the pandemic. You were calling on the world's wealthiest, on the billionaires, to step up, to show that they care.
125 million people worldwide received a total of 100 billion in microloans from the major microfinance institutions. Microloans dominate the agri-fintech market, but it's been proven by researchers at MIT, JPAL, and Northwestern that microloans have been proven to be ineffective at improving business outcomes, labor supply, and consumption. The majority of microloans are administered at varying interest rates, and it's been revealed that many borrowers were forced to put their home or land as collateral, leaving them to live in cycles of debt. So what if 100 billion was invested, not loaned?
For the past few years, everyone's been talking about this buzzword, social impact investing. But the issue with most social impact investment opportunities today is that there's no real transparency to the investor about who is directly benefiting and how. And this motivated us to develop Harvest Share. Harvest Share is a simple and easy-to-use platform that connects investors from around the world with farmers in developing countries. Let me give you a little tour. It gives investors the ability to search for new investment opportunities, assess their risk on those opportunities, and monitor their portfolios.
First, we identify and partner with small farmers in developing countries who are in need of capital. Investors invest in a farm. They essentially buy a share of the farm, much as normal stockholders do within a company. And in return for providing needed capital to the farm, investors receive a share of the farm's profits. Ultimately, we believe that our model is a great way for farmers in developing countries to access non-debt funding for their operations. This, in turn, will help reduce global economic inequalities and increase the supply of food available to people in those communities and around the world.
When performing risk assessment, we use agronomical data, satellite data, and local input to ensure that we're creating faithful and reliable partnerships with our farms across the world.
The most important thing to us here at Harvest Share is that we don't make money off of people. We make money with people.
Let's grow together.
Let's grow together.
Let's grow together.
Grow with us.
Good afternoon. I'm Jonathan Mendonça, co-founder of Barefoot EDU Foundation. And our vision is that every principal in India has the skill and the will to make education meaningful for children now. 9 out of 10 children in India are expected to be left behind. This means that they may not develop basic academic skills like reading and writing, and many of them may not develop the 21st century skills that we talk about. And many may not even develop self-worth. What's worse is that while it is accepted that it'll take 100 years for these children to catch up with the current standard in high-income countries, we do not have 100 years. Principals are known to have a massive effect on student outcomes and the school as a whole. Yet in India, we fail to invest in leadership. A Niti Aayog national survey found that no principal in 10 states was found to have completed leadership-focused training, and Indian principals have less skills than their peers. The problem that we aim to address is that 1.5 million principals in India lack the skills and the mindsets that are required to manage schools and provide children with a really good quality, wholesome education. Our solution is an entrepreneurship coaching program for principals so that they can use resources more effectively to improve schools and improve student learning outcomes. Through quarterly online workshops, fortnightly school coaching, and monthly peer learning circles, principals implement 2 projects in their school, one at the school level and one at the student learning level. We then measure this impact that is created in the principal as an individual, in the school as a whole, and in the overarching system. Across our 80 principals, in a survey, 74 principals found our training to be practical and within their team's capacity to implement. Our plan is to scale by digitizing best practices while retaining the school coaching support and by partnering with 1 school aggregators and 2 local governments. Our ask is for funds and support to partner with school aggregators so that we can digitize 100% of our content, implement with 20 principals, and create peer learning platforms for more than 100 principals. Our team comprises of alumni of Harvard University, the Young India Fellowship, and the Teach for India Fellowship. UNESCO has recognized the potential of our work by dedicating an entire chapter to us in their new publication regarding the future of education. We thank you for supporting our vision that every principal in India has the skill and the will to make education meaningful for children now.
Hi everyone, my name is Shruti Kumar and I am the founder of Go Yogi, a 501c4 nonprofit focused on mindfulness-based mental health education. A little bit more about myself. I'm a student at Harvard studying history of science and government with a secondary in global health and health policy. I'm originally from Omaha, Nebraska, and I have a strong interest and background in yoga and meditation. I've taught yoga classes for the past several years as a certified Yoga Alliance instructor. So the reason I started Go Yogi was because I noticed this omnipresent culture of stress and anxiety throughout high schools. When I was in high school, my cousin was diagnosed with depression, and she was in middle school at the time. So my eyes were open to the current state of mental health care at a very young age. I realized the available solutions were largely reactive, inaccessible to low-income populations, and had a severe treatment delay. In addition, there were no preventative measures to build resiliency and a lack of cultural competency, which makes it hard for students with diverse backgrounds to access the care that they need. To provide further insight into this issue, 75% of high schoolers are often or always feeling stressed. Anxiety is the top concern among college students, followed by depression. And each day, there are over 3,470 suicide attempts by young people grades 9 to 12. So as we can see, there are tremendous mental health issues among students that are detrimental to student success. That's why I made it a mission at Go Yogi to increase access to proactive, introspective, and mindfulness-based mental health education in hopes that we can build resiliency and prevent some of these issues before they arise. We're essentially the Khan Academy for student mental health. By providing a free online learning platform, students have the tools that they need to manage their mental health, not only in high school, but throughout their lives. Following a community-based model, we can provide culturally sensitive, customized, and relevant mental health resources that address student needs. And best of all, it's accessible to all populations from all socioeconomic backgrounds. So we've conducted some market research for the past 4 to 5 years at a school in Omaha called Marian High School, as well as a low-income school in India called Udavam Karangal. We also have worked in the sectors of policy and education with the Nebraska School Board Association, and we have a student board program of over 25 students across the country and a team of over 8 advisors that are experts in the fields of health, education, and policy. So the implementation of this mindfulness program at these schools has shown us that students really appreciate the fact that their administration cares about their mental health. They really enjoy having a few minutes of mindfulness at the start of their school day to help integrate mental health practices directly into their daily lives. And so our current model is that we're a nonprofit, so we heavily rely on donors and grants. We also have a fee for high-income students that helps fund supplementary technology for Go Yogi to be implemented in low-income schools. And that's similar to an Adopt a High School program. So some of our next steps are that we need to build this online learning platform and then be able to expand the program throughout school districts, both in the US and internationally. We believe everyone has a right to access mental health care. This is what students need right now. It is the future of mental health care. So we ask you to join us and support us as we work to prioritize mental health and well-being among the future generations. Thank you.
My name is Drew Gupta. I am a student at Harvard Medical School, and I serve as CEO of Mobile Memory. Imagine if we could stop Alzheimer's with something as simple as speech. At Mobile Memory, we are working to make this a reality by using the latest advances in AI to screen for vocal biomarkers of dementia. Every member of our team knows someone who's been affected by this disease. When we first met each other at a hackathon in September 2020, we were just strangers. But given our common experiences, we were motivated to find a way to improve early detection of Alzheimer's so that no one would have to experience the same devastation as we saw with their own loved ones. It's no secret that Alzheimer's will soon become a healthcare crisis. In the US alone, nearly 6 million Americans are affected. And by 2050, this figure will nearly triple. As you can tell, Alzheimer's is about to become a big problem. And the biggest barrier in solving this problem is the lack of early detection. Today, Alzheimer's is identified too late. Patients only come in during the mild dementia stage when irreversible brain damage has already occurred. Therefore, our goal as a company is to push up the timeline to the mild cognitive impairment stage before the serious damage begins. To solve this problem, we're developing an app that consists of 2 components. The first is the natural language processing, or NLP algorithm, which is able to take the user's speech, break it down into basic linguistic parameters, and then output a cognitive score. The second component is a memory bank, which serves as an audio diary that allows users to record their voice and then share them with loved ones. The machine learning team has been able to surpass the field's state-of-the-art results in our initial prototype. And as you can see here, our NLP algorithm has less error than their average clinician in detecting early signs of Alzheimer's. Our past accomplishments include joining several incubators like Mass Challenge, Harvard iLab, and the Harvard Layman Program, as well as establishing research partnerships with Brown University. In the future, we plan to conduct clinical validation by implementing our product in the healthcare setting and then later filing for FDA approval. Additional funding from Mobile Memory would help us with the logistics of overseeing the clinical validation process. Our vision for the future is for there to be less anxiety among family members, ease of care provided by physicians, and the assurance that no one has to live a lifetime of memories only to lose them at the very end. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Momo Kai. I'm the founder and CEO of New School Network. Our network's vision is to bring a quality system of education with distributed access throughout Myanmar. We aim to reform the way children learn and the way educators teach in Myanmar through strong pedagogical practices like the Montessori philosophy, raising bilingual children, teaching both Myanmar and English, and building a strong community of educators who can share best practices all the time. And this vision was well shared by our parents that when we started in June 2020, we only have 25 students, but by the end of the year, we have about 100 students, and a year later, we have another 100 on the waiting list. We're already profiting, and our customers, when they start in kindergarten, they will have a lifetime value of staying with us into high school. We see that through in the 2 years of operating, only 90% left the school due to going to another country or going to another city. But the problem here is that we need to scale very quickly, meaning we have to build many more schools and we need to train many more teachers. But the problem with that when we are running a school already is that we have no time for curriculum planning, professional development, or building teacher community. I propose to solve that through our proposed application will have a professional development site where a teacher can use extra time to develop professionally. Then there will be curriculum academics, which includes a pre-recorded video of how to teach particular subjects like literacy or math through the general method or through a Montessori method, because our school was inspired by Montessori philosophy. And lesson plans also, if you have particular lessons, it will be all uploaded for grade 1. Choose a subject you want to teach, and then if you want to teach social studies, and particularly Unit 3, then you can just click on Unit 3, and then it will lead you to the Unit 3 lessons, how to teach Unit 3 lessons, with rooms for feedback and comments. Teaching community is a place where teachers can talk to each other, have a support community for any subject. It can be literacy, can be math, can be science. As for our competitors, we're targeting small and medium-sized private schools because usually the founders are educators themselves or parents, and we want to work with them who want to improve the quality of education for their students, for their community, and for their children. Together, we want to raise education entrepreneurs and mompreneurs. Currently, the market size for K-12 education is about 98 million. We aim to get 50% market share of the non-network private schools, and we will be using subscription as a service revenue model. So students can subscribe to this, and teachers can subscribe to this, but usually the subscription will come from a school. Our team is made up of experienced educators with over 10 years of experience, teachers, principals in international schools and private schools here in Myanmar. So we want to finish building the platform this in first quarter of next year. Then start in 2023, we want to add 5 more network schools to our portfolio. So thank you again from New School Network. I'm Momo Kai again, and thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me.
My venture is Solar on Schools, which aims to leverage the power of grassroots advocacy to advance sustainability and climate solutions for school districts. Through a replicable model of petition signatures, organizing, and ambitious resolutions, Solar on Schools recognizes the important role school districts can play in supporting youth who will be disproportionately affected by the consequences of climate change. First, some background about myself. My name is Charles Hua, and I'm the founder of Solar on Schools and current student at Harvard pursuing a degree in statistics and math. I'm very passionate about applying statistics, economics, and policy to energy and climate issues. The inspiration for Solar on Schools came from a series of projects I led in high school and college. The 2 projects involved raising money for solar panels for our school and petitioning our school district to establish a 100% renewable energy resolution. During sophomore year of high school, I joined my school's environmental club. We managed to raise $150,000 to install solar panels at our school, and through this project, we realized there was a lot of demand from the community for school districts to advance sustainability initiatives. So I then launched a grassroots advocacy campaign that successfully petitioned the Madison School District to establish a 100% renewable energy resolution, and it became the largest school district in the country at the time with such a goal. I realized these efforts could be replicated elsewhere, so I aimed to develop a scalable model of success that could be applied to other school districts. Hence, Solar on Schools was born. So there's a major problem in terms of educational institutions who have a mission of serving youth, but who haven't traditionally been leaders on sustainability. This is a major missed opportunity as young people have the most to lose from climate change and have the most to gain from sustainability initiatives. It's very important that we integrate sustainability into schools for children from an early age. So that's where Solar on Schools comes in. Solar on Schools aims to take the model of grassroots organizing and advocacy that we developed initially in Madison and scale it nationally. This involves taking the best practices and lessons learned from previous initiatives, including effective petition campaigns, crafting ambitious clean energy resolutions for school districts, speaking at school board meetings, and raising money for sustainability initiatives through grants and targeted fundraising campaigns. There are numerous benefits to school districts of pursuing sustainability initiatives, including reduced electricity costs, reduced carbon emissions, hands-on learning opportunities, supporting youth leaders most impacted by climate change, generating awareness, and joining public and private sector leaders on climate in solidarity. Although we're a young and lean organization, we've already generated tangible impact. We've taken our efforts to 3 school districts that serve over 30,000 students, and our work has helped generate over $2 million in investments for sustainability initiatives for these school districts, who are now leaders in Wisconsin. Solar on Schools hopes to take its work to the next level by scaling its efforts nationally. There are 3 main next steps from here. First is securing funding. This is where you come in. Funding will be crucial to scale our efforts by recruiting grassroots advocates, conducting gap analyses, and identifying strategic growth pathways. Second is identifying hubs of school districts where we can maximize impact. And third is executing on this vision and expanding these initiatives regionally, then nationally. There's a lot of energy that can and must be harnessed if we have a shot at combating the climate crisis. Solar on Schools is looking to tap into that. Thank you.